Good evening, I'm Roger, and welcome to NFL Trending, your source for the latest stories shaping the league. Tonight, the Cleveland Browns are back in the national conversation, and not for the reasons fans might have expected. Head coach Kevin Stefanski is standing firm after making what many are calling one of the most controversial quarterback decisions of the season, turning to veteran Joe Flacco at a critical moment. The move has sparked debate across the NFL community, leaving analysts, fans, and even former players weighing in. So tonight, we break down the decision, the reasoning, the reaction, and what it could mean for the Browns moving forward. The Browns entered the season with lofty expectations. After years of inconsistency and heartbreak, Cleveland finally appeared to have a roster built to compete. A ferocious defense led by Myles Garrett, a reliable running game, and an offensive line that could dominate in the trenches. But the one question that has hovered over this franchise is the quarterback position. Could the Browns find stability under center long enough to capitalize on their championship-caliber defense? That question was supposed to be answered with Deshaun Watson, the team's high-profile, highly paid starter. But Watson's injuries and uneven play left the Browns in a precarious situation. Backups rotated in and out, and Cleveland found itself searching for answers as the season progressed. It was in that context that Stefanski made the call to bring in Joe Flacco, a 39-year-old veteran, former Super Bowl MVP, and a player many thought had already thrown his last pass in the NFL. The decision was shocking. In an era where teams are looking for younger, more mobile quarterbacks, Stefanski turned to a pocket passer who hadn't been in the Browns system and had been sitting at home just weeks prior. But Stefanski defended the move, saying Flacco's experience, leadership, and ability to manage the offense gave the Browns the best chance to win in the short term. Stefanski emphasized that it wasn't about headlines, it wasn't about nostalgia, it was about trust. So why is this so controversial? For many fans, the decision represents a lack of confidence in the younger quarterbacks on the roster. Rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson showed flashes of potential earlier in the year, and some fans wanted to see him continue to develop. Instead, Stefanski handed the keys to a quarterback who last found sustained success a decade ago with the Baltimore Ravens. Critics argue that this move sends the wrong message, that the Browns are looking for quick fixes rather than building for the future. But others see it differently. Supporters of Stefanski's decision point out that the Browns have a rare window of opportunity. With one of the league's most dominant defenses, they don't need a superstar quarterback. They need someone steady, someone who won't make critical mistakes, someone who can execute the game plan. And if there's one thing Joe Flacco brings to the table, it's experience in high-pressure situations. Let's not forget, Flacco has played in and won playoff games. He has stared down the toughest defenses in the league. He has walked into hostile environments and come out with victories. That experience can't be taught, and for Stefanski, that seemed to outweigh the risks of turning to a veteran who might not have the same physical tools he once did. Reaction from the locker room has been cautiously optimistic. Several Browns players have publicly voiced support for Flacco, praising his calm demeanor and his ability to pick up the offense quickly. Wide receivers have noted that his timing and accuracy are already improving, and his leadership in the huddle has been described as steadying. Yet behind the scenes, it's fair to wonder how younger quarterbacks on the roster are handling the news. Every rep that goes to Flacco is one less rep for the quarterbacks of the future, and that could create long-term ripple effects. Around the league, analysts are split. Some believe Stefanski is simply doing what good coaches do, giving his team the best chance to win right now. Others argue that this is a desperate move, a gamble that could backfire if Flacco struggles to keep up with faster, younger defenses. ESPN analysts describe the decision as high risk, medium reward. Former NFL players on other networks have defended Stefanski, saying that when you have a defense as good as Cleveland's, all you need is a veteran who won't lose the game. The fan base, however, is where the debate is hottest. Cleveland fans are among the most passionate in the NFL, and social media has been buzzing ever since Flacco took the field. Some fans are excited to see a proven veteran in action, even one well past his prime. Others are furious, insisting that the Browns should be building for the long haul, not chasing short-term fixes. It's a classic debate, win now versus develop for the future. And in a city that has endured decades of disappointment, win now often carries the louder voice. Kevin Stefanski himself has made it clear this was his decision, and he's not backing down. In press conferences, he's defended Flacco as the right man at the right time. He's pointed to Flacco's professionalism, his willingness to prepare, and his command of the offense as reasons why the move was necessary. Stefanski also reminded reporters that football is a week-to-week league, and if Flacco helps the Browns win this week, that's all that matters. But looming over all of this is the bigger question: what happens if Flacco struggles? If he throws interceptions, if he can't keep up with fast-paced defenses, if the offense stalls, how quickly will Stefanski make another change? And how will that instability affect a team that has already had to adapt to so much turnover at quarterback? There's also the financial angle. With Deshaun Watson locked into one of the largest contracts in NFL history, the Browns don't have much flexibility at quarterback. Flacco is a short-term patch, but the franchise's long-term investment is still Watson. That reality raises another debate. Is the Flacco experiment just a temporary distraction, or is it a sign that the Browns are truly worried about Watson's availability and performance moving forward? Zooming out, this decision tells us a lot about the state of the Browns as an organization. For years, Cleveland has been searching for stability, for an identity, for a formula that works. Kevin Stefanski has brought structure, discipline, and a playoff appearance, but every move he makes is scrutinized in a city starved for success. The Flacco decision is just the latest example of how high the stakes are in Cleveland. For now, all eyes remain on the field. If Joe Flacco delivers, if he can steer the Browns into the playoffs, Stefanski's controversial call will look brilliant. If he struggles, critics will be quick to say this was desperation, not strategy. In the NFL, perception changes week by week, and the only way to silence the noise is to win. So as the Browns prepare for the stretch run, Kevin Stefanski's gamble is under the spotlight. Joe Flacco is back in the NFL, wearing orange and brown, tasked with leading a franchise that has seen more quarterback changes than almost any other team in recent history. Will this be another short-lived experiment, or will it become one of the season's most surprising success stories?